Let's go. I'm so cringe.
You're going to do your intro?
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm here at Rosemary MacCabe. If you don't follow her,
you should.
I'll put her handles here. And I'll explain here. And I'll explain who I am just in case this goes really viral and no one knows us.
Everything I do think, like, in case this goes really viral, just tweeting.
Okay, tell us all about you and what got you to this point.
Well, I'm Rosemary MacCabe. I am a personal trainer, but only for the last, I think, about 6 months. I started out, after college I did journalism. I was a journalist for a couple of years. I was a blogger. I discovered the gym. Like so many people, I'm such a little cliche. And I discovered lifting weights. And basically for my whole life, like, I've never been a sporty person. I've never been into the gym. And I wouldn't even say now that I'm into the gym. Like, I enjoy training when I train, but I do it because I then enjoy the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like,
I was kind of at that point because I've always been, like, the last while I was a fitness person, and now I feel like training is just part of my life. It's not like I'm a fitness person and I'm like, okay, fitness is part of my life, but there's more to me than that.
Yeah, but it's not like, I'm always saying to people that I don't want clients to come in and want to spend 4 hours in the gym. I want you to spend 45 minutes in the gym and then really enjoy the rest of your life. So that's, like, for me, training helps me feel better in the rest of my life. And I discovered lifting weights, and I had always thought of myself, like, I'd always thought that there were fitness people and then there were people like me. And when I really started lifting weights, I started really getting into it and really enjoying it. And I suddenly thought, hang on, maybe there is actually space for trainers who aren't, like, A, totally ripped, because I'm not, who B, aren't, like, totally sporty. Like, I still, if somebody's like, will we play a game of rounders? I'd be like, no.
Do you remember playing tennis? Do you remember we had to pick up the ball to play tennis and you were like, it's okay, he's not looking. I was like, I'm not doing it for...
Yeah, we were in, was it in Marbella or Mallorca?
Mallorca.
Yeah, we were in Mallorca with Fitbit, and we were doing this cardio tennis thing, and one of the parts of the game was to pick up the balls, like to lunge and pick one up. And at one stage the instructor turned around and I'm like, sure, don't worry, he's not looking. And she's like, what? That's not, but that's the kind of person I was.
Yeah, in school when the PE teacher wasn't looking, it's like, okay, stop.
100% that I was like, I'm not doing anything unless somebody's making me do it. But I decided that there was space for, like, in personal training and in the fitness industry for people who aren't super sporty and who haven't always been into fitness, who haven't always been into lifting, who haven't always been into running. And it's something that's funny, like, it's one of the things that I get kind of criticism about is like, well, like my cousin's a personal trainer and he's been, like, training for 20 years and he's always been into GAN, he's always been this and he's always been that. Whereas I think actually that there's room for both. Do you know what I mean? Because I think most people as well who walk into a gym aren't the people who've been playing gas since they were 13. And that's the reason they're walking in for the first time going, I need help. And so that's kind of where I thought the space was for me.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, starting out as a personal trainer, I didn't mean to do so well with, in terms of business and stuff. Like, I meant...
So humble. I didn't mean to do so well, it just happened.
No, I thought when I started doing the training course, I did my personal training course in National Training Centre. You did it in the Fitness Institute. And that's something that I get asked a lot, is like, how did you become a personal trainer? A lot of people think I did it in the Fitness Institute because I did
the
advanced nutrition course.
Yeah.
So I'm on the website there, so people always ask me about that, and I'm like, I can't actually tell you because I did it with NTC. And one thing I always say to people is that a lot of the personal training courses are created, I mean, they're all very much literally just the starting point to your journey. They're literally just to get a piece of paper to get you in the door somewhere, and then you start learning.
Yeah, you're just ticking a box. Like, and I always thought that when I did my journalism course as well, that I was like, there's actually not that much that I learned in this 1 year course. I did a master's that I couldn't have learned on the job, but it was the step in. You needed to do the course to get the job. And with personal training, you need to do the course to get your insurance. But I've learned more on the job in 3 months, I'd say, than I did in and that's not like throwing shade at the course. But it's just you learn so much more practically, and there's so much more to learn as well than there is on a course.
Yeah, and like some people ask, what's the best course? Even when you're researching it, you're kind of looking at like different accreditations and all that. But really, it's just that piece of paper. Like, once you can get insurance to train people, you can work anywhere.
Like, I was thinking about it very practically because I was going to go to NTC because it's actually about a 10-minute walk from my house.
That's the only reason I picked that place was on the way home from work to Swords.
It's so handy. but the course wasn't starting for another 4 months, and when I decided to do it, like I'm very kind of, I just want to do it now, and there was a course starting in the Fitness Institute about 3 weeks later, so I was like, well, I may as well do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than waiting for the NTC.
Yeah,
and mine,
it's just location and
I did
timing.
ask a few people, what do you think is the best course, and I remember them saying there was one particular place that I won't name, that they were saying, oh, this has a really good reputation, and I sent an inquiry email, and I got this email back that was literally like, are you the type of person who wants to like make basically all this like kind of cliched self-help speak? It was like, are you ready to, and also it was very gendered. It was like, are you ready to grab life by the balls? Come on, guys. Like, we need people who are self-started, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the email it said, if you're rolling your eyes at this email, you're not the type of person we want. And I was like, grand. So I was literally like, oh, for the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. The course. So I always think the course comes down to convenience. You know, there will be someone you might learn a little bit more and other things. Really, again, when you come out of the course, you don't know much.
No.
And that's kind of one thing that worries me. Like I had a really good interest in weight training before I started, and like there's other people that did the course. I think someone was a runner, and they used to run marathons, and we both we didn't do that much training, lifting weights, and you come out and you're just as qualified as the next person to do any kind of programming. And I just didn't think I learned that much. But the whole time though, I was panicking, because I was like, right, how am I going to make a career out of this? And I said, I need to be my own best advertisement. And that's the only reason I set up my little separate Instagram account. And I was just documenting my journey of, this is when I'm really busy, of showing that, if you really, really do want to change your body, it is possible.
I think our journeys have been very different like that, in that you thought to yourself, okay, I have, you really harness the power of social media, where people can see what I've done to my body. Whereas for me, and even now as a trainer, I really don't, that's not my focus, and that's not, people don't come to me necessarily to change their bodies. Like a lot of my clients, and I think the majority of people who go to personal trainers are looking to change their bodies, right? Or looking to lose body fat. But a lot of my clients will come to me who are already maybe very lean, and will say, I really want to build strength. I really want to, or I used to be strong and I injured myself and I want to get back to that. So I get a lot of women who are literally going, I want to get stronger, which I think is quite rare for women.
Yeah,
most women.
It's to find a niche is so important. For me, now I do all the online coaching, and the problem is that when you first start as a personal trainer and you get all these different types of clients coming to you, and you don't want to say no to business, so you take on everything, even though you feel very kind of, I did is start very overwhelmed. I'm like, how do I was always very honest. I never oversold what I could do or whatever. I just knew what I had done to change my body in terms of training and nutrition. And one thing that I suppose I did worry about at the start was that people who were way more qualified than me, that had been doing it years, would try and call me out or something, because I was so busy. I really felt like I didn't deserve all these clients.
And you, and they'd be kind of going, well, listen, why are you going to her when she's just started and I've been doing this for years and this is bullshit.
But I say that to a lot of people now that, as a personal trainer, I think it's so much more important to be able to relate to your client and maybe motivate them or to be able to explain to them and motivate them to stick to whatever the program is. I think it's not that important to understand the science behind carb manipulation if you can't get your client to stick to their diet across the weekend. And I suppose it's kind of being realistic, and that's what people liked and followed me for, was that I showed the highs and the lows. I think a lot of PTs, especially online, are trying to live this perfect fitness life, and but I don't know, but it's becoming a lot more about, I feel like it's actually moving away from abs and aesthetics. And I didn't know if that was just because of me, or I've done it, I've got as shredded as I'm ever going to get, and it turns out happiness isn't in six-pack abs. I know what to do, and I know a lot of people still want to get into good shape. So for me, my goals have moved away from aesthetics, but then I feel like that's happening.
Well, I think there's kind of a shift in the industry. So I did a course just when I was just qualified, just finished my course in the Fitness Institute. I did a weekend workshop with the Body Positive Fitness Alliance. So they're these guys who are based in LA, and they set up the Body Positive Fitness Alliance as a way of BPFA, as a way of talking about fitness in an accessible way. So you don't need to be lean, and you don't even need to want to be lean to train. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the time I'd gone to gyms in the past, and I'd gone in and I'd gone, I want to get fit, and I want to lose weight and tone up, but I want to get fitter, I want to lose a bit of body fat, and I'd go in and they'd go, okay, so you need to do really extreme, you need to go to 1200 calorie a day diet, you need to train 5 times a week. And I'm going, that's just not accessible to me, whereas I think there's a real shift in the industry to go, okay, so how can we focus on optimum health and what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
Because it's not just about, and that's something that they really focused on in this workshop, was it's not just about physical health, it's about mental and emotional health as well. So you could have somebody that you could go stick to the 1600 calorie a day diet, right, and they could do it and do it really well, and they could get super lean, but at the same time they could be getting really unhealthy attitudes to their body, really unhealthy relationship with food. They could be really suffering and feeling really down because it's really rigid and controlled, and they're not enjoying their lives.
Yeah.
And that's also important that you can't see it.
I know, and that's one thing. I suppose I used to always show my own transformation, and I'd nearly want to, and to be honest, I was delighted with how, as the work was paying off, but at the same time I wanted to show how happy I was in between.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know, I mean, these results are good. They probably could be better if I didn't have the pizza last week, but I had that pizza, so it means that I got these results while, looking after my happiness.
Yeah.
And that's, someone asked me recently what are my goals, and obviously when you're doing bikini competition, there was times where I couldn't have the pizza because I had these other goals, and that's fair enough. But now,
that's a very specific time and goal.
But now my goal, and I think I'm trying to push this onto my clients as well, is, well, I mean, if their goal is to be lean, is to be as lean as possible while eating as much as possible, or enjoying themselves as much as possible.
Yeah, while having a good life.
Yeah,
and not letting, because I think one of the things about when you're dieting, it's really hard to diet and have a social life. So socialise with people, because people get very judgmental and they get paranoid about themselves as well. But it makes relationships, especially with your family, I think, really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like my parents will often be very like, "Oh, are you doing this?"
Yeah.
If I'm just like, I don't want the potatoes, you know what I mean? I'm just taking one thing out.
Peak week, right? Peak week coming to competition, and to be fair, I wasn't starving. I was on 2,000 calories. It wasn't that big of a, but I had just missed a meal. But again, you can't eat out when you're being that strict. Again, peak week is not a normal person's diet. And I was at this thing with my granny, and she was like, "Hold this for a second," like a plate of cakes, and I was starving. I had just trained legs, and basically had to run out to this thing with my family without having my post-workout meal. And she said, I was like, "Granny, got that competition coming up," and she was like, she took it back, and she's like, "Are you going to start eating again after the competition?" And I was like, "I am eating. It's just
I'm just not eating this."
Yeah, and it's funny. I think the way if you can work your nutrition plan into your life as much as possible without disrupting yourself or disrupting family occasions or anything like that.
It makes things easier.
Anyway, way off the point of being a person. Well, it's not really. It's kind of identifying what you want and what your clients want, and making sure. I think the big thing for me is empowering people to make choices. So if they want to get lean, this is what you're going to have to do. If you don't want to do that and you just want to have a bit of fun, enjoy your training, feel good, that's fine. But it's kind of making the...
And that's a conversation I have with people a lot of the time, that I'm going, you know what, if you want to reduce your body fat, we can do a food program, I'll happily do that, I'll give that to you, we can do X, Y, Z, but it's up to you, you need to do it. I can give you the tools, but you need to use them. And then for other people who are like, you know what, I don't like dieting, I have one client who's like, I've had an eating disorder in the past, I don't like the word diet, I don't like to think about food, I don't want to count anything, and I'm like, fine, well, let's just train really hard, you try and eat healthily within the, whatever that means for your mind and your body, and we'll train. And let's see how it goes.
Is it Skinny Gaz is probably one of the most knowledgeable, young lads I know, but he does, one thing he says, eat like an adult. That's the thing, people are losing their life for this Halo ice cream because you can fit it into your macros, when it's you can just have a little bit of normal ice cream and it's not going to throw you off. And I think when I was in Thailand, I kind of learned that. It's I can eat out for every meal if I don't eat the chips and the, you just eat smart.
It is about not eating like a child whose parents are out.
Yeah,
I know your parents used to go out and have a babysitter and you'd be like, I can eat everything in the press. And that's the mentality.
That's pretty much my diet.
But
at Christmas.
Yeah, I think an awful lot of us do that. That we're I suddenly have permission because it's Christmas, or because you have your period, or because it's Sunday, or because you're starting a new diet program tomorrow, and you're I'm gonna eat like my parents have just left, and the house is full of sweets.
Yeah,
an
that's
insane
so
person.
true. Yeah. No, so if you can find someone who is responsible with food and you just get them training right, they will see results, even if that's what they're looking for. But I'm a big foodie, so I'm I just want to eat as much. And that's probably the main reason I track macros, is because I want to eat as much as I can while getting leaner. And I think, and again, we were talking about aesthetics and goals like that. I think I like looking lean, I like feeling, and it does help me mentally. I like going away and feeling good in clothes. but I've noticed, I suppose, because I've been not every shape, but I've been up and down space. I think nearly up and down a range of 20 kilos over the last year, and I can see that people, they won't admit it, but they react. People like seeing abs. Like, so for me, it actually is a business thing that I need to be in shape. As much as people will say they don't care, or they want to see pictures of healthy food and how to meal prep, and they want to see exercise videos, they don't. For me, being my own advertisement, I think the people I'm trying to sell to, I need to be in shape for.
So do you mean that, like, social media wise, you get the best reaction to pictures of you looking super lean?
Yeah. And so I do feel good when I'm lean, but at the same time, a bit of me is like, business wise, I think I need to stay in shape. But I don't think that's 100% necessary. As I said, if you're like, that could turn people away. That could be someone. I don't want to work with someone who thinks.
I think it totally depends. I think, because I thought about it as well, and I was like, do I have to get like super lean to be a personal trainer, and like, do I have to get super lean to get clients, right? And so say if I now somehow found that I sorted, because I suffer from depression, and I have kind of for about 10 years kind of on, but not on and off, but more like up and down, if you know what I mean. And I do try to eat pretty healthily, but I also have weeks where that's not a really high priority, that I'm like, I need to focus on my mental health and my emotional health. Sometimes that means eating pizza, and I'm not going to apologise for it, because it's just, I need to kind of balance everything out.
And once you're not feeling guilty is a big thing as well.
It's so important, and I'm really working on, because I did like Weight Watchers and Slimming World, and I counted everything, and I'm really working on getting out of that mindset, and I kind of have, but once I start counting things again, I get right back into it. So I did think, like, should I get super lean, and would I get way more clients? And maybe I would, but I don't know necessarily if they're, and like, probably I'd make a lot more money, right? And like, might be a lot busier. I'm kind of busy now, but it could be busier. But then I kind of wonder, would it be clients that I really want to work with? Because a lot of the time when people say to me, I just want to get super skinny. Like, I have a friend I train who I love, and we get on really well, but she really just wants to be, and she's already very slim, and she wants to be even slimmer. And I'm training her, and I'm giving her nutrition advice, but I also just find it so boring. Like, I just am so bored by your quest to look like Nicole Richie. Like, it's not interesting to me. I'm far more interested in people who are like, I really want to up my deadlift, I really want to get a pull-up, I really want to work on my, posterior chain, I really want to, or, people who are trying to have kids and are like, I really want to build my posterior, like, I want to build my core strength, and I want to balance my hormones a bit. That's much more interesting to me than somebody who's just like, I want to be skinny.
Yeah, and that's comes back to when you first start, you're like, okay, I'll just take on everything. So let's talk about a bit more of actually like working as a personal trainer. Because I like that. When I started, even as I was going through my journey of like finishing the course, and I was getting leaner, and I was just like getting happier as well, because it was kind of like my whole life was getting happier. So I was getting lots and lots of message inquiries, and like, how do I do this, and I knew I wasn't qualified to do anything yet. I thought when I was finished this course I'd have all this knowledge, so what I did was I just got them all into a mailing list. I said, just send me on your details, and when I'm ready to take on people, I will. And I'm glad I did that, because it was very tempting. Someone was like, I will pay you to tell me what you're doing to yourself, and I was like, no, keep it all official. So when I started, I was very busy. I was absolutely terrified training my first client. It was, it was someone very similar to me, and I was like, I'm just going to explain. I had notes and notes. I think I had like the iPad. I was very official, and the night before programming and everything, and I was very, very busy starting off. And it turns out it was actually grand. And once you're able to explain to someone why you're doing what you're doing, I started off charging €50, which I thought was a lot. And I was advised that because everyone else in the gym I was working with was charging €50, and I could do what I want because I was renting space off the gym. So every gym is different. So I was renting space off the gym, and then I could charge people whatever I wanted and use it whenever the hours were open. Then the hours are open from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. And obviously the majority of people I was training are people like myself who were working full time and want to train early and late. And that was a big struggle too, like the hours. And so that's when I started panicking, where I was like, okay, hold on, I'm exhausted.
I think I had that panic in kind of November, December as well. So like when I started, I now work in the gym that I used to train in, so Lift, where we are now. And I started out, while I was doing my course, I was interning here. So I would come, I think I had my course on Thursdays and Fridays, and I was in here, I was still doing a little bit of writing and a little bit of blogging. I was in here Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and usually Saturdays, just like helping set up classes, and I was in at 6, you know what I mean? So I'd be in at 6 in the morning until 9, and then I'd be off again in maybe for lunchtime class back in the evening. So I did get used to the hours a little bit sooner than I would have if I just suddenly gone and started working. And then when I was qualified, I started taking clients here, but like that, around November, December, I suddenly started going, oh my god, I'm really tired, because I don't, like, I initially thought I'd take naps during the day, but now I find if I nap, I just feel really wrecked when I wake up, so I don't generally nap during the day. I just try to go to bed early and get up at 5, half 5. And I definitely had a couple of weeks where I was like, oh my god, is this going to be worth it? Because like, I'm really tired, and my own training was suffering. Like when I first started, I wasn't training half as much, I wasn't making it to classes. I just felt really drained all of the time.
Because when I was working in the office and I was training every morning at 5 a.m, I just had so much more consistency, and it was easy. Like I felt it easier to like train and look after myself when I was like working in a job I didn't really care about, and I was, you know, my whole goal was just
and you had this
train.
focus.
But then when it became, you know, I was training people, and then I was, you know, you're off for an hour, you're like, okay, for an hour, do I go home and cook some food, or just grab something in the local? You know, so obviously training and nutrition, and then you're like, no, take my own advice. If you plan, you can do anything. But you're getting home at 10 o'clock and you're trying to like, I'll prep all my meals for tomorrow and train first before my 7 a.m. client, and it just, when you're that tired, you lose motivation. I suppose the best advice I give to anyone who's coming to me now at that stage, I sat down and was like, okay, hold on, how much money do I actually need? You know, you find that number that will be your expenses and your whatever your expenses are, and you know, your little have fun fund or whatever that is. And I was like, okay, work backwards. How many hours do I need to work? And then, because I don't think there's enough value put on free time. You know, it's all this hashtag hustle, work hard, live your dreams, you know, Gary Vee, all about, you know, stop watching Lost. And I was kind of panicking, going, what if I just want to stay in bed on one morning, you know? Because that was different to the person I had been the first 6 months, where I was doing everything in my power to...
where you were up and you were ready and you were ready to go,
but when I did that, so then I was like, okay, I'm only going to work mornings or evenings. And the best thing I did was use an app to schedule clients. And it just took out me being too, you know, so like I'd be like, okay, I'm going to work Monday mornings, Tuesday evenings, Wednesday mornings, Thursday evenings, and I would put that into this calendar. I think Set More, I think I was telling you about it, setmore.com, and I would put the hours I'm available, and I'd send the link to my clients, and they'd click on it. They would like, I want to train with Siobhan this week. You know, a lot of people would do the same hours every week, but there might be one that would only train once or twice. And instead of them going, can you do Tuesday at 4? And I had clients until 1. You know, and I'd hang around, or I'd go and have to come back, and they'd see, okay, Siobhan's only working until 1 on Tuesday, and they can actually do 12 o'clock, but because they were going to ask me at 4, because they can't see that hour available, they'll just do 12.
You do sometimes have a lot of back and forth where you're like, well, I can't really do 5, but I can do this.
So that took a bit of time, and if there was no time that they couldn't do, it meant they'd text me and say, Siobhan, there's nothing there, any chance you could do. And then it would be like, okay, you weigh it up and like, I can do that.
You do need to be organised. But I mean, I do want to point out as well, like when I started, so when I did my course, I had no clue how you would even get started. And I remember on the course they were talking about setting up your own limited company and setting up a business. And I think it is important to say you don't need to do that. So like in order to be a personal trainer, like to train someone, you need to have a qualification that's recognised in Ireland. You need to have insurance. I got mine through Baylor Institute.
Yeah, me too.
That they just do a lot of personal trainings. They're based in the UK, but it was super quick. I think I contacted them on Monday. 100 and something. They got back to me and I sent them my certs, and I was insured the next day. And you need to have a space. So you either rent a space, or some gyms will let you work for them. So you work for them for free. For a certain number of hours per week, so you might give them 20 hours per week of teaching classes, working on reception, cleaning up, and then they will allow you to train clients for the rest of the time. So it's like a nightmare to me. Imagine like 20 hours of work before you get paid.
That a lot of places do that when they're first starting, because you don't want, you know, can I guarantee? And that's one thing. When I started cutting down my hours, it meant that the rent I was paying wasn't worth as much. You know, like obviously then the profit. So and then because I then started doing a lot of online coaching, and when I started doing that, you know, I was tempted to cut down my hours even more in the gym, but it didn't make sense because if I was paying €500 rent, I'm like, you need to be obviously training at least 10 people plus, you know, the rest, you know, do my figures.
You should be doing 20 to
exactly,
And when you started doing online coaching, did you just send, I'm just asking now for myself out of nosiness, but did you just send people a program like on Word or on email?
No, I think one of the best things I did is I had really good systems in place when I started, because I think a lot of people start online coaching and they end up working themselves even more because they're answering emails 24/7 or else they're the opposite, they're copy and pasting the same workout for everyone. I found Jonathan Goodman's stuff, have you heard of him? He has the personal trainer development center community on the ptdc.com online. Came across one day when I was working really hard in the office, but found his stuff really interesting. He was all about online coaching and about that, the kind of finding your freedom number. And he had an online course, really long story. Basically I ended up doing the online course, I won it in a competition. And it was a lot of simple things. Like one of the things he uses is Trainerize, which is an online software program where you can upload your own kind of exercise videos, or they have a full library. And it's all very systemized. So I get a new client, I'd take money through PayPal, I'd set them up, I'd just use their email address and name on my Trainerize profile. They'd get an email talking or asking them, you know, like you can have the consultation form, you obviously design it to whatever you want to know. They fill that out, I get a notification when it's filled out. So I go on, read all about them, obviously clarify on needs clarification, and then I can design a program
based around
their answers. They have the app on their phone, all the exercises there. Yeah, they see the videos, the reps, they track it there so I can see what they're doing. Obviously any questions they can message us straight away.
How much did that cost for you?
I can't remember, but it was well worth whatever it was. It was not a tiny expense, and I think you get free trials, and you can do like if you only have 2 clients, it's like basically free. If you've got 50,
once you get 50, you start paying more.
And I found that really, really helpful. And I also said to them, and this is something I think is really important. I said, check-ins are Mondays, emails we answered Mondays and Wednesdays. Anything else? You know, if you've anything urgent, obviously let me know. But you know, like it stops people messaging on a Saturday night going, "Can I have this pizza?" You know, and you're out, and you know, so they know that they will get an answer from you on a Monday or Wednesday. And nothing is ever that urgent. And if it is, and you write back to them, it's a bonus. It's not an expectation. And I got that was going really well. And the more that was working, you know, I kind of stuck to the people, again, the same kind of, so a lot of them would have been doing similar training programs depending on what equipment they had in their gym, or, you know, obviously any injuries or anything like that. But they still felt it was very personable.
And obviously depending on their goals, because some people are like, I want to build strength, but I want to lose.
But I was always very like, if someone said to me and was like, okay, I want to do a lot of running and lose weight, or you know, whatever, I always thought there was just someone better than me, and I think I was lucky that I was
specific.
And I was very lucky that I was busy enough that I didn't have to say yes to everything, so I was able to pass things on.
You know what though, that's something that in that Body Positive Fitness Alliance workshop that I did, they were talking so much about knowing your scope of practice as a personal trainer. So like if somebody comes to you and is like, I'm rehabbing this injury, and you've been qualified for a year and a half, you just say no. Like I know a really good physio who can do that. Or if somebody comes to you and goes, you know, and I'm really struggling, I think I've got a bit of an eating disorder and I really want a food plan, you're going, no. But I'm a therapist, you can talk to us, you know what I mean? Like that they were basically saying, because I think that's something, like definitely I've had that experience with personal trainers in the past who kind of talk a bit like they're your doctor and also maybe your dietitian and also maybe your therapist, and you're like, you're not qualified to do any of these things.
You know, like a personal trainer isn't supposed to hand a diet to anyone.
No, I know,
it's supposed, you know, you make recommendations, because legally if you hand someone a diet and they're allergic to lettuce, they can sue. I wish I'm joking. But and so we're kind of talking about the hard parts of it, but like there are a lot of pros as well. Like I mean, I've met so many, like I've made friends out of people. Like you're saying, you know, your scope of practice, you do end up becoming nearly the person that this person tells everything to. You know these people.
But only some people. It's really funny that like I have some clients who I would know so much about, and then other clients I would know very little about. But like we talk about maybe film, or we talk about things that we're interested in, but I don't really know, do they have a partner? Are they married? What do they do in their day job? Well, you know, I might know the company they work in, but some people are very chatty and some people are more private. But that's actually one of the things that I love about it. I think coming from a freelance kind of journalism and blogging background where I was on my own a lot, it's so nice to be with people.
Yeah.
And to be talking to people who, because when you get to a certain age, you stop meeting people in any real way.
You start making, I've made new friends.
Yeah, same.
Which is, I'm like, how did I do that?
And you're trying to get to know people that you would never otherwise know.
Yeah.
And it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, especially because you end up, like, some people train 3 times a week, like, you see them more than you see anyone else, well, me anyway. And I really miss that now, because obviously now I'm all online.
Yeah.
And I do miss, I mean, there's a lot of downsides to being on, I mean, there's a lot of bonuses to be able to, work anywhere, but there are a lot of downsides. Obviously, you can't be very specific with your training, with coaching. Anyone that's looking for anything kind of specific, I have to refer on.
Or you wouldn't be doing like advanced powerlifting, or let's really work on your like five rep max this week. You're not going to be.
But I mean, it's working for me. Again, it came down to me having to stop and realize, okay, yes, you want to be a personal trainer. That's when I panicked, when I got to a point where I was like, I'm after like documenting my whole journey to following the dream, and I'm here, and now is this what I really want?
Yeah.
And that's when I was panicking. I nearly felt like a fake online, like am I enjoying this? And I realised I loved the one-on-one. Like I used to love putting the phone down, going and chatting to people, and maybe training people for the hour, but I'd still be like, I have so much to do outside of it. And that's when I realised I had to stop and think, okay, what do you really want to do? And it came down to, I suppose, looking after myself first, and it was my own freedom, happiness and health. So I worked backwards. I was like, what do I need to do that? So I was like, I need to get online. And I used to do, I was a lot online. I used to just train people for the fun of it. Like the online business was running itself, and I just liked training people, so I kept that up. But because then I started falling in love with travelling, I didn't want to mess people around. I was I'm going off for a week, you'd be alright on your own for a week.
And that's something that I actually think people really need to bear in mind. Like when I first did this, I saw a few things online, people going, oh, she's just trying to do this because she thinks it's going to be a super easy job. And like there definitely are parts of it that are straightforward, if that's what easy means. You know what I mean? That you do a program for someone, you supervise them, you how to correct them. It's not rocket science. But then there are other aspects where the hours are difficult, and you don't really get to take, like I took a holiday last November and I went to see my sister for 10 days for Thanksgiving, and now I'm kind of looking into like I'm not going to go on holidays for a good long while. Yeah, because I'm trying to build up my client base, because I want to be here for my clients, because I'm self-employed.
It's not even just the hours you miss though, it's messing up people's
they're like, I don't want to have people, especially because like one of the things that I really love is like I keep I keep a training diary for everyone, and you can really see the progression from week to week, and it's so rewarding being able to say to people, 2 weeks ago you were only doing this and now you've doubled your...
I know, I went from like my fancy iPad when I first started and was like, you know what, the pen and paper is fine. You look back and go, look what you were doing last week. It's so much easier.
Yeah, it's great.
But that's why I had to make the decision to... And luckily, like I hadn't taken on new clients in months, so it was only like obviously regular people, and luckily I felt I had always wanted to train them to be independent. So when I was like, do you know what? I think it's time for you to go. And obviously, if they wanted to, I was happy to refer them on to other people, or some of them moved on to my online coaching. But then I suppose that's when I was like, okay, I've found what I really want to do. And even now, but I think there's not enough of that talked about in the personal training industry. It's like getting up at 4 o'clock on Monday to train. Everyone's like, love my job, hustle, and I'm like, be honest, like, it's hard to get up this time, but it is worth it. I do like what I do, and there are struggles because I sometimes nearly feel like I was overselling the dream of being a personal trainer. And I think that's why I want to do this video, to talk about it frankly and be like, there's so many pros, there are cons. It is a tough job.
And it's also not a get-rich-quick scheme. Like, unless you do incredibly well, like you're doing basically online, or because there aren't enough hours in the day, unless you charge €85 per session. You know what I mean? You're never going to be a millionaire from being.
But you can do that
trainer
if you continue to educate yourself. Like if you continue to prove your worth, you can charge more and more. And
but it is so important. Like when I started as well, I remember talking to Neve, who owns Lyft, and I was like, I think I'm going to charge €50 an hour, and she's like, okay, why? And I was like, well, because I think like I'm going to be really good. I think I'm going to be excellent at showing people this and that and that. And she was like, okay, but what do you have to show for that? I was like, well, I've done this course. And she was like, what else have you done? And I was like, so
it's great to have someone to mentor you.
She was being harsh, but she wasn't being harsh. You know what I mean? She was just being really honest about it, going like, how can you justify that to people who say, well, this personal trainer is 45, so like I charge €45 a session now. But I am constantly looking for, like I did the BPFA workshop, I did a postnatal and prenatal training course in the National Training Centre. And I'm always looking for different things, like maybe with powerlifting, like I'd like to do some more like Olympic stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of coming up to go, like how can I keep progressing? How can I keep getting better? Because I don't want to be, like, I don't want to spend my life working in a commercial gym teaching body pump classes. And I think, you know, I think there are very few personal trainers who train and want to do that. But I think unless you are always progressing yourself and always coming up with new ideas and always coming up with, or like training to find new ways to train clients, to find new things.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of the newly qualified personal trainers that I see they start off being like, I need loads of clients, and they go in low with price. So, you know, they're €30. Like when I started on €50, first of all, it was because everyone else was, so you can't undercut the other trainers in the gym, which was fair enough. And I was like, am I worth? But I think as long as, I mean, obviously by retaining clients, I was proving, you know, you're showing the value. If you're getting people in and you're only charging €30, you know, you're obviously the type of client you're then attracting. You know, it's hard for you to progress because you're going to be working a lot more hours.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one January I worked, you know, I did 6 or 7 clients in a row, and I was like, I just like, I couldn't do that.
It's so hard.
I couldn't give everything to the last client. You know, like I wasn't.
Sometimes, like when I have a lot of clients in one day, that's why I write everything down after every single session. Because sometimes by 6 p.m, I can't remember what I did at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I literally am going, was that today or was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Who was that? What did we do? Like I can't remember a thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of personal trainers, if they're working 6 or 7 hours, there's no way you're giving the amount of value to the last client than to the first one. So I'm always like, you know, you have to kind of sit back and think, okay, if I charge charge more, work less hours, concentrate a lot more on these clients, like you'll care a lot more about
your 10 clients.
Yeah.
You can't give the same amount of attention and care to 20.
And the amount of people that message me and say, you know, can I get a nutrition plan off you? I have a personal trainer. And I'm like, well, if your personal trainer isn't invested in you getting results, you want to question that.
I get a lot of messages from people as well about kind of asking about like, oh, my personal trainer said this to me. Mostly I think people talk to me about their feelings, because I talk about my feelings. So like attracts like, but I kind of get people going, oh, like I had a personal training session and I just felt a bit embarrassed because I couldn't do this, or I felt a bit humiliated. And it is always kind of like, you need to really try hard to speak up, which I know can be difficult when you're feeling embarrassed or you're feeling, because I think it's the throwback from, or the kind of carry on from PE, from being humiliated in school and having feelings of like being crap, and then it's echoing into your adult life. So it's a question of speaking up, but also fire your trainer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't feel like you can say to your trainer, I didn't like doing this, or you know what, like would you mind if we did X, Y, Z, or like I've had clients say to me, I need you to shout at me more.
Yeah.
Because I don't really do that. Like I don't go, come on, you can do it. Like you've got 2 more in the tank. I'm just like, come on, good. Like you know, like I try to motivate, but I don't shout at people. I'm not like, come on.
Yeah, when I did I mean, this is what I was trying to get, I suppose, a touch on with the Mind Gym and the mental health seminar we did 2 weeks ago. Because that's not even something we really touched on, but you know, you can give people the diet and the training, but if they're not happy, it doesn't matter. No. But never mind not being happy, you know, like you're going to get people who are suffering from anxiety and depression and are not going to walk in the door and tell you straight away. So and like that, you're spending so much time with these people. If you are training them 3 times a week, you need to be approachable. You need to be able to talk to them about your feelings and stuff as well, because you could be like, do you know what, today I don't feel like lifting heavy and pushing it, I just want to come here for a bit of headspace. And I think that's why I want to get personal trainers to teach. I want to, you know, get personal trainers learning about how to approach this with clients. I don't really know them really. One of my clients told me, this girl I got on really well, but texted me one day and was like, can we train this week? I'm off sick. And I was like, oh, if you're off sick, you know, we won't train. And she eventually came out, she's like, no, I've actually just been signed off like for mental health reasons. And I had no idea what to say, you know, like I got on really well with her, like I knew her inside out, and I couldn't believe that. I said, but you're such a happy person, you know, like, so that's what I'm trying to learn myself now, how to approach situations like that, and, you know, trying to teach other personal trainers. I think it is important to not be the you know, shouty, this is what you do, no excuses.
Yeah, you just can't be one size fits all. Yeah. Because like that client who asked me to shout at her, obviously there are some people who are really motivated by you going, come on, you can do it. And then there are other people who just kind of cower. You know what I mean? That's like, I don't want that. Like, no. Like, I have another client who I'll sometimes kind of slag, and I'll go up and I go, come on, a little bit quicker. And she's like, you fuck off. Like, that's not how she operates at all.
Yeah,
so it just depends on the person.
One client who was really quiet, like, but no matter what I pushed at her, she loved the challenge. Like, I'd do the prouder and I'd jump on. She wouldn't even complain, she'd just do it. And I was like, I wouldn't even have to shout at her or anything. Anyway, we're not like us to waffle on for a while.
It's not like me at all.
Anything, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Like, where do you see the industry going? Where do you...
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that the industry will get more body positive, essentially, because I think there's a really big problem with fitness feeling really exclusive and feeling like you can't even go in the door of a gym until you've already become a certain size, you already look a certain way, or you already fit into the leggings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I would like to see a lot more people coming in who would not see themselves as fit people, who would not see themselves as people who train.
Yeah.
And that's why, because the industry needs to open itself up, because at the moment, like, the people who see themselves as fit are already going to the gym, and it's the other 85% of people that need to, like, not need to go to the gym, they don't have to go to the gym if they don't want to go to the gym, but that they're the 85% of people who are available to come in and to start training. And that's who I would really like to see it opening up to, because I think at the moment, especially with Instagram, you can feel really exclusive, and even when you see like events that are on and it's all like beautiful tanned toned white people, we're not all tanned, but beautiful tanned white people.
Because I'm now running a PT course, which I didn't want to use this to like push up, but someone was talking to me about it because I'm really thinking of doing it, but I never saw myself as a fit person, And I don't think when I started my course, I mean, I'd like to go into the gym, but I was a session mom, like I was out.
You wouldn't have been like, I'm real sporty.
That wasn't the natural step. But I decided then, like, I thought I had to be in perfect shape too. But I was talking to her this morning and I was saying, a couple of years ago, only rich people had personal trainers. Like, I mean, I think that's the thing. People are looking at the industry and saying, is it saturated? But now, a lot of people have personal trainers, and if they don't, they will. Like, they will realise that for them to get effort, or to get results for the effort they're putting in, they need, like some proper programming or some education themselves. So I think, eventually everyone will have a personal trainer or some sort of,
guidance and help.
And I do think you can find your niche. I do think if you're becoming a personal trainer and you're really passionate about something, you can make it work if you're willing to put in the work. A lot of people, they think it's what they want to do. A lot of people do in my course, they were talking about how they didn't have time to train when we were working full time and doing the course, and I was kind of like, I was more business focused, I think, where I was like, no, I'm training not for I was training for myself, but like I was in the back of my head, I was like, I'm trying to build a business here, I need to advertise myself, and that was my mindset. But a lot of them, they finish the course and like, now what? And a lot of courses don't teach enough in terms of like advertising yourself or setting up a business, or even how to get into a gym and start working there. I started shadowing everyone, or shadowing as many people as I can, and so I think closing advice is like, if you really want to do it and you're passionate about it, do it. Who knows what way the industry will be in a couple of years, but I think it's only going up and up, the fitness industry.
I think it is just getting bigger and bigger. Like when I did my course, I remember chatting to my elderly neighbour about it, and he was like, what are you doing with yourself? Are you still writing? And I was like, I'm actually doing a course in personal training. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, like being a personal trainer. And he went, for celebrities. I was like, I wish.
I know, and it was, used to be, it's my personal trainer, and you'd be like,
but it's funny now that, like, when I say to people, I charge €45 for a session, like, some people will go, God, it's so expensive. I'm like, well, you'd spend that on a meal. And I think people really are getting more towards thinking, this is an investment in my health. Because, we spend 55 quid going to the doctor. Like, some people go every 2 months.
But then at the same time, though, I'd be the other side, like, there's physiotherapists charging €40 who've studied for 7 years, and I'm charging 50, and I'm like, so it is, but it is about because it's valuing yourself and your time, because you're charging €50 for that hour, but it's the hours around that where you're writing up nutrition plans and you're you're being supportive 24/7 online.
Or you're texting them, telling them, yes, you can eat that pizza, or no, you can't eat that pizza, kind of thing.
I had something else pop into my head there. 30 personal trainer. I can't remember, but.
I think €45 an hour.
No, okay. I think we've covered a lot of bases there.
We covered it. Well, like, people can always ask questions in the comments.
We'll leave the comments.
I have a YouTube account as well, so I'll respond to them.
It'll all be under I haven't put anything on YouTube in such a long time. But I do think, it's something, so advertising yourself, like for me, I always tell people, well, the reason I was able to do what I'm doing is from social media, is from putting everything out there. There are other ways of doing it. I'm always hungry to learn. Like I And I think even by showing that I'm reading books on, it kind of shows, okay, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn.
But I'm learning, yeah.
It's about being honest and not overselling what you're doing.
Yeah, and also now, I think it's really important, especially when you're starting out, to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
When clients say to you, why is this happening? Or often clients go, I have a pain in the back of my knee, why do you think that is? I'm always like, I actually have no idea, but let me look into it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no point in me bullshitting you and being like, you know what that is now? That's your, I'll make up something that they don't understand, that I barely understand.
Yeah.
But it just makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, it's just being you and being yourself and valuing what you've learned and continuing to learn. Yeah.
I mean, because personal training really is it's a customer service at the end of the day. It's just about being one-on-one, and if you're not a people person and you're not good at chatting to people and you're not good at if you're shy about saying hi to the person scanning your shopping in Tesco, being a personal trainer is probably not going to be for you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's important.
Just because you're in shape and just because you like training doesn't mean that you are going to be a good personal trainer.
No, and you have to be nice and you have to have empathy as well.
Yes.
I think it's really important that when people come in they go, I had a shit weekend and I ate X, Y and Z. I used to have personal trainers who'd be like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you're mean.
Yeah. I remember even my coach, I remember Amanda was like, well, did you enjoy yourself? And I'm like, yeah, that's the main thing. Don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Or I remember going, any chance I could have, I'm going to Portugal, we get any chance to get a cheap meal, and she was like, do you know, have a glass of wine, I know how much it means to you over there, she's like, but
have a glass of wine, I know how much it means to you.
No, she meant I know how much Portugal means to you, she's like, have a glass of wine, toast, everything, and I was like, oh my god, and it meant then I was able to have the glass of wine, not feel guilty, not go off the rails. But that's another story. Anyway, thanks Rosemary.
Thanks so much.
Because I didn't know how to put all this into a blog post, I'm not great with the writing, thank you.
Well, it'd be very long.
Yeah, so I said, let's push it out because there's a lot to it. There's some aspects. Leave any questions you have in the comments if I ever get this up online. I hope it's recording.
Yeah, you will. It's not recording, I'm not doing it again.
Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found some of it interesting.